Namaskar. Today I am planning to discuss about reservation in government departments and government institutions. Actually, our idea is not like finding fault at reservation, why it has come, how we can improve that. That is what is my idea to discuss on this point. Why at the first place this reservation was required? In fact, pre-independence era, the British government has started caste-based reservation under, but our fathers of constitution, the Constitution Assembly was enacting constitution, and the Constitution Committee was headed by the great genius Dr. Ambedkar. He was victim of this community sufferings and other things. Actually, in India, Bharat, the community difference was rather a kind of perverse change and attitude of our people. It was not propagated in the Vedas. It was not propagated in our Sanatan Dharma. People complain that it is the outcome of Sanatan Dharma, the communal difference, but it is not. The Manu Dharma did not talk about the present day's community and the difference. It was talking about the quality of people, and whatever the classifications were made by Manu was not by birth. So we can't compare or allege that existing communal disturbance or disharmony. Government and people are striving to make harmony, but it is not from the Sanatana Dharma preachings. It is wrong. Unfortunately, the people have developed this difference, and the disparity between caste and all those things have crept into, which is not good for any human being. Okay, the backwardness of the people due to non-availability of good education and economic weaker level, these were contributing mostly for all these disparities. So our constitution has provided under Article 15 and 16, provision to Article 15, because Article 15 and 16 prohibits discrimination against discrimination due to religion, race, caste, sex, descent, that is a place of birth or something, or which descendant they are. No discrimination can be done. This is what is reiterated in the Constitution, Article 15 and 16. And the provision to these articles clearly spell out that state can enact a law providing for special treatment or reservation, etc., if the state considers the representation from a group of community is not sufficiently available, something like that. Okay. Now the point is, yes, the backwardness have to be removed. Immediately after the independence, India was a very poor country because India's wealth was totally taken or exploited by British rule. As Mr. Shashi Tharoor has made once a statement that British has exploited more than 200 trillions of dollars of wealth from India in their 300 years of ruling in India. It's a humongous value. I'm not sure whether this value is right or not, but the level of wealth which was exploited by or swindled by British was a huge thing. To put it simply, India's economic level now is 5th level with little less than $4 trillion. The world highest economy, United States of America, has got around $25 trillion, and China second, I think some $16 to $17 trillion, and we are in the 5th stage with little less than, I think, 3.75 trillion or something like that dollar. So the wealth which was swindled from India to England by the British during their regime was of the order of 50 times, more than 50 times of our present economy, GDP. So we were so very poor at the time of independence. So education was one of the most backward things, and the rulers of the day, especially in South, if you take Kamaraj, he brought up schools for every 5 kilometers. A kind of campaign was done for education. Free education was provided, and a free noon meal scheme was provided because most of the poor people were unable to send the children to school. So the backwardness was huge. Now I am coming to the point. So these reservations were required because of the disparity in the education system also. So wealthy people and those who can afford were having good education, and they could compete well in employments. So this reservation was essential, and is reservation continues to be essential. But making it indefinitely, August doesn't well. How to handle that? We should create a situation where reservation is not required. Everybody is able to compete with others. How do we do that? More than 70 years have passed by with all this reservation. Still, the backwardness of the people for whom reservation is provided in the Constitution itself has not completely gone. Reason is, one of the reasons as I find, is a Group A officer who gets a salary of about 1 lakh in the present day, being appointed on reservation, let us say, why does he require reservation for his children? Can he not afford to give good education to compete his children with the other learned people? They can do. And those reserved posts taken by the people, children of officers, children of wealthy people from those communities. Wealthy, I mean very high level wealthy, crorepati or some millionaires. Those seats can be given to the people who are lower level, who are economically also weaker. That way it would have got more people covered by the time. But unfortunately it is not happening. The major chunk of reservation goes to the people who already enjoyed, which I feel is not the intention of our forefathers when they brought this reservation system. Now what is the way out? Reservation on the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe should continue, but among them the children of Group A officers and industrialists in those communities, need not be given reservation. It should be given to the other people who deserve that. This is one. This is the short-term requirement. What about long-term? The way forward is having schools, resident schools, comparable to convent studies, with all facilities free of charge, free residence, free, board and lodging, and complete expenses on the children till their graduation, even professional college also. For all those people in those who are listed in the schedules, and children from other communities who are economically backward, irrespective of whatever be the caste, whatever be the religion, whatever be their descendant. If economically somebody is backward, their children should be provided 100% free education, and that education should be comparable with convent school education. In North India, we know very well Doon school and all. It should be comparable to that. With all facilities, their not only their stay and other things. When they go home, if it is nearby weekly once or monthly once, you give them some allowance to spend at home also for the children. Nothing wrong. You create a new generation who are knowledgeable, who are intelligent, who can stand on their own and create wealth for the country, and who will make reservation irrelevant. Okay, now the question, is it possible by the government? It should be. It should be possible. People who are 40 years or above might be well aware. Before year 2000, this 4-lane was done here and there in major cities and major connecting major cities only, and not all the places. But the Golden Quadrilateral scheme was inaugurated by the NDA government, headed by the great leader Atal Bihari Vajpayee. When he was Prime Minister, in the powers, the former minister made a statement in a press conference or something, how it was decided. So when the meeting was had by Prime Minister, our bureaucrats, the officers, were trying to say, no, it is humongous expenditure, we cannot afford to spend such a huge expenditure to have this infrastructure, all those things. The discussions were going on, and ultimately the mood was towards shelving that project. It cannot be done. And the Prime Minister Vajpayee was just listening, and in the end he made a simple statement. I was listening to that press conference. He simply said, "Karna hai." So finally it is order from Prime Minister. This Golden Quadrilateral road has now become connectivity throughout India. Only some suburban areas have to be taken up. Now our roads are comparable with international standards. Government could spend and do. If government decides, it's possible. Not only government has brought in the system of, in Company Acts, they have made it CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility. An agency, a private concern, having a profit of 5 crore in a year, or a net worth of 500 crore, or a turnover of annual turnover of 1,000 crores, should spend at least 2% of their net profit toward this corporate social responsibility. which includes poverty removal, education, school, etc., etc. Poverty removal, of course, with the government's new policy of right to employment. At least 100 days wages are paid if employment is not provided. So that has, in my view, has removed in our country the poverty. At least people do not sleep hunger. So these private corporate companies who can afford to spend this 2%, they can spend more also. And if government provides some tax benefit for providing CSR value, higher value, towards constructing resident schools in every 5 kilometers in India, where every child of our the reserved community, that is scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, other backward class, and other communities also, and all the religious peoples. It's only not because this caste system is known in Hindu system only. Christians, Muslims, everybody. As long as their earning is less than 10 lakhs, let us say, annual earning, their children should be eligible for this free education. Free education of the higher order, high standard, from primary level, from class 1 level, even kindergarten also we can add. And such education is provided freely with the food and all facilities through government funding, through CSR funding. The next 20-30 years, we will have a population of highly intelligent, high rate of intelligence rather, and highly dynamic, industrious population, which will be the asset for India to become, I think, world #1 economy also, which will in all probability render reservation irrelevant. People should be able to compete on their own. Once you raise the economic condition, the social disparity automatically dissipates. It's only the economic backwardness that is one of the major causes for social disparity also. So what I try to finally say is, the reservation is not a permanent solution. It is required now, but it is required for the needy of the people, not all the people who are already in a higher level in government. Their children availing reservation is misnomer. It is not the correct objective of our noble objective of our forefathers who created our constitutions. So let us let us take a vow that I think everybody should come out to have a system where the free education, which is residential for all the children who are in the earning, whose parents' earning is less than 10 lakhs, let us say, as a percentage. I think that is the long-term solution for our economic disparity and social disparity also, which will ultimately remove or rather make our community system, caste system irrelevant. Let us hope for the best. Namaskar.